Hello Clover Buds and welcome to the Florida Birds video. We're going to teach you a little bit about some of the most popular birds that you can find here in Charlotte County and around other parts of Florida. Let's go ahead and get started. Our first bird is the Anhinga. Oftentimes you'll see this bird in the water with just its head sticking out. This is a large, dark water bird with a long neck. Its bill is long, thin, and pointed. Remember, its bill is like a chicken's beak. It's where its mouth is, but on a bird it's called its bill. It has a long tail and silver patches on its wings. Its whole body goes underwater with only the head above water. The Anhinga dives completely underwater to hunt and catch its prey. You can find Anhingas in slow-moving rivers in cypress swamps, in mangrove-lined inlets and lagoons, lakes with dead standing trees, wooded ponds, or freshwater marshes. Next is the pelican. If you're near the water here in Charlotte County, you've probably seen a pelican. These are seabirds with thin necks and long bills. The bill has a stretchy pouch underneath that's used for capturing fish. A pelican is grayish-brown with a yellow head and white neck. They like to plunge dive from high up using the force of impact to stun small fish. So they dive into the water and almost scare the fish to make them stop so that they can put them in their mouth. Next is the cattle egret. You can oftentimes find this bird anywhere there's cattle. They have a short, thick neck and they graze in fields and forages with cattle. They have yellow plumes or feathers on their head and neck during breeding season. Next we have the scrub jay. The scrub jay is blue and gray in color and it has a rounded head. Scrub jays live only in Florida and they prefer to live in scrub oaks in sandy soil. They like to look for food on the ground. The limpkin is a brown and white bird with a long bill that's bent and twisted at the tip to help them remove snails from their shell. They are tropical wetland birds, so they particularly like the weather here in Florida because it's very tropical and we have a whole lot of water. Our next bird is the blue heron. The blue heron has blue, gray feathers or plumage, and they stand motionless or tend to wade up to their belly for their prey in the water. Their prey would be the food that they're going to eat. The blue heron flies with its neck tucked in and its long legs trailing out behind. Our next bird is the osprey. It has large hawks with slender body and a white head. There's a broad brown stripe through their eye and brown with white breast feathers. Their underside of their wings are mostly white with brown. Osprey tend to live near bodies of water. They live near these bodies of water because they tend to feast on fish. So they live near salt marshes, rivers, ponds, reservoirs, estuaries, and coral reefs. Our next bird is the Sandhill Crane. I oftentimes see them in my front yard looking for bugs in the grass, but they're also oftentimes found looking at themselves in windows or glass. They like to see the reflection in the mirror. So these are tall, gray-bodied birds with a crimson-red cap on their head. They breed in open wetlands, fields, and prairies. They oftentimes group together and are known to find their mate for life. Next is the white ibis. This bird is all white with bright red legs and a curved red bill and black wingtips. These are wading birds. They like to wade in water to find their prey. They nest in colonies in trees and scrubs along the water's edge. For me, when I go out onto the boat, there's groups of mangroves, and oftentimes I see these birds in colonies nesting in the mangrove trees. The bald eagle is a large raptor with broad wings. Juveniles are 1 to 4 year old eagles and have dark brown bodies with some white. Mature bald eagles, those that are over 4 years old, have a solid white head and tail. Their legs and their bills are bright yellow. Bald eagles are often found near water bodies such as lakes, reservoirs, rivers, marshes, and the coast. The black vulture is a bird with black feathers or plumage and a bare black head. They have white stars under their wingtips. These compact birds have broad wings and short tails. They do have a poor sense of smell, but they are very social and loyal to their family. They are loyal because they share food with their relatives and young. These birds are often found eating trash out of the dumpster or dead animals alongside the road. The swallowtail kite has a forked tail and black and white feathers or plumage. They maneuver themselves when they're flying with just a twist of their tail. They eat dragonflies, frogs, lizards, snakes, and nesting birds from tree branches. The mockingbird is the Florida state bird. It's a gray bird with a slender body and bright white wing patches. The mockingbird most often sings and even sometimes sings at night. The mockingbird is known to harass other birds that intrude on their territories. Next is the pigeon. Pigeons are often found in streets and public squares. They live off of food that people have thrown away or left somewhere, so it's called discarded food, and also bird seed. They are blue-gray birds with 2 dark wing bars. Pigeons nest on buildings with window ledges, barns, or grain towers, under bridges, or on natural cliffs. Next is the dove. A dove has a plump body with short legs, and it has a small bill on its head with a long pointed tail. It's common across all of North America and often found perching on telephone wires and looking for seeds on the ground. A dove tends to fly very fast. Next is the crow. The crow is a large, long-legged, thick-necked bird with a heavy, straight bill. Crows usually form flocks, which is a group of birds, with 1,000 or more birds. They are often looking for food in garbage cans or food that's just been thrown out on the ground. Likely to be found around people, and you will also find them in agricultural fields, lawns, parking lots, athletic fields, roadsides, towns, and dumps. Next is the cardinal. It's a beautiful songbird with short and thick bill and a crest on its head. The males, or the boys, are brilliant red, like the one that you see in the picture. A female, or the girl, is a pale brown with red on her wings, tail, and crest. The cardinals sit low in shrubs and trees and find food near the ground. Oftentimes, cardinals are found in pairs. Next is the cormorant. It looks very similar to the anhinga that we saw in the first photo. The cormorant is a large water bird with a small head and a long neck. They float on the surface of the water and dive to catch small fish. Oftentimes you will see them standing on docks, rocks, and tree limbs with their wings spread open to dry. Cormorants are most often found in fresh water. Here in Charlotte County, we have fresh water up the river, Peace River, and we have brackish or salt water in Charlotte Harbor. So we have both fresh water and salt water in Charlotte County, but cormorants are most often found in fresh water. Our next bird is the woodpecker. You've often heard them pecking at the wood of trees. They are nearly the size of a crow, and they are black with bold white stripes down their neck and a red chest. They search for their prey, being what they like to eat, which is carpenter ants, in dead trees and fallen logs. Woodpeckers leave rectangular holes in the wood, so they do not leave rounded holes, they leave rectangular holes. They prefer large trees for nesting. Next is the blue jay, a large songbird with blue, white, and black feathers. The blue jay is known for its noisy calls, and it stuffs food in its throat pouch. When eating, it holds a seed or nut in its feet and pecks it open. Its favorite food is acorns, which are found in oak trees. So where you see oak trees, you might see a blue jay. They are found in forests, woodlots, towns, cities, and parks. Our next bird is the ring-billed gull, a seagull that's gray above with a white head, body, and tail. It has black wingtips that are spotted with little white spots. The gull has yellow legs and a yellow bill. They are opportunistic feeders that fly overhead with hundreds of gulls in one group. They are often seen around humans, at garbage dumps, parking lots, and freshly plowed fields. They can also be spotted on coastal beaches. When they say that gulls are opportunistic feeders, it means that if you are eating outside near where gulls are found, so in a parking lot, near a beach, near the water at a park, they are going to take the opportunity to swoop in and eat the food that you have. If you're not careful, they'll grab it right out of your hand. Next is the snowy egret. This beautiful bird has long, thin legs and long, slender bill. They have a long neck that sets their head well away from their body. These birds are all white with a yellow or black bill and black legs and yellow feet. They wade in shallow water to spear fish and other small aquatic animals to eat them. They are found along the coast on mudflats, beaches, and wetlands. Next is the red-tailed hawk. Oftentimes looks just like an eagle, but this is a hawk. These large hawks have broad, rounded wings and a short, wide tail. They are rich brown above and pale below with a streaked belly. They soar in wide circles over fields and perch on telephone poles or fence posts. They also perch on trees standing alone or on the edge of a field. When they're ready to attack, they attack in a slow dive with their legs stretched out. When they go to get fish in the water, they will dive down towards the water and catch the fish with their feet. Last but not least is our great horned owl. You cannot always see these birds, but oftentimes you can hear them at night. This large owl has two feathered tufts that look like horns on their head. They are gray-brown with a reddish-brown face and a white patch on their throat. They are nocturnal, meaning that they come out and feed at nighttime. You will find them by listening for their deep call, which is 4 to 5 hoots. They find their home in the woods, cities, orchards or groves, suburbs, and parks. Thank you all for listening to this presentation about Florida's birds. We hope that this helps you to identify some of your birds in your bird journal. So you can go out and observe them and write your observations down in that journal. You can also identify them and mark them off in your bingo game. Good luck out there identifying Florida's birds.